ASL Prime League.
This best-of-3 match will be out of the tournament, while the winner will have a second chance in the Lazarus match to face Pure, who lost to Patience. This is game 1 of the best-of-3. Here we are on Bridgehead, left-hand side, representing Team Extreme Supremacy, the pink Terran player, Beastyqt. And his opponent, the purple Zerg player, going 2-1 versus Pure. It is Plurmorant. Pure would be whoever the winner of this best-of-3 faces. We'll see, guys. TvZ on this map, I've seen a lot of different variations. I've seen players, at least the Terran player-wise, go very slowly out to a third base, get Liberators, and just slowly do not even the mech style play, but just kind of the you can't actually engage enemy play, just kind of shove you off, keep shoving you. Just when the person's running at you and you hold them by their forehead back and their arms can't reach you. Whatever they do in the cartoons, whatever that is. But it's basically what the Terran player does on this match, from what I've seen. Now, it is also a perfectly good proxy map, but a lot of players really always scout those positions. That won't be the case, at least for this game. No proxy, no nothing. Beastyqt with his first SCV scout. And, I mean, this is relatively going to see a hatch gas pool, which, as a Zerg player, generally you can push out some early lings, get a nice metabolic boost, finishes around 320, 330. And not on this map, you can't pressure as much, but at least you can work on the back rocks. You can force your opponent to actually have to contemplate life and say, do I want to take the chance of something hitting my back rocks? No. So, at least you can do some pressure in the back. We'll see how it works out. But Baneling Bust's very good. Maybe a possibility for our American Zerg player, Plurmorant. Beastyqt, though, he gets the full scout, says, cool, you're doing what I assume you'd do, nothing too greedy, and I'm just going to pull on out of there, wait for your third base to go down. Which he will dodge the lings of Plurmorant moving out. Now, the key thing, the biggest thing here, for any of the players to know is just the wall off that, obviously, all you guys know this, but you have the rocks with the wall up that are the same amount of health as a supply depot. So really, as I was saying, Baneling Bust, it's good. Roach Ravager pushes also. Maybe we call a Ravager Bust. I'm not sure. You did see that Overlord barely get away, which is really key, at least for now. While that Overlord is alive, that does, if maybe it goes in Oversteer, maybe there's Overlord speed, but it does provide the opportunity for Ravagers to shoot the high ground. Obviously, Lings in the high ground also give high ground vision, but nevertheless, that Overlord is very key for this early game aggression, if that is where Plurmorant wants to go. Also note, the reactor's at the worst place ever for any sort of pressure at all. It will do a full wall-off with only one supply depot, though, so nice little trick to know from our lovely Terran player. There's the bunker rush. Now, that bunker is not close enough for this third base to see it out of vision, but do the Lings? Do the Lings get the Hero Scout? The answer is yes, they do get that Hero Scout, and we've seen this bunker put down in the same position. Now, the SCV, yeah, the Lings actually can't hit the back of this, or is it done correctly? I can't quite see if it's done correctly, but if you get it in the most perfect position ever, the Lings can never hit the SCV, even if it pulls out in the back. But bunker goes down. Marine's still heading across the map, though. 2 Roaches on the way. Maybe these Marines pick up a Queen. Once 2 Roaches are out, I don't think these Marines can do much. Bunker, though, again, is going to try to go down. This time, though, Plurmorant may think dang it. Those Marines fired a little bit too early. They fired when they saw the head, not the whites of their eyes. They just saw the full body, so won't quite go undeterred. Hatch would have spotted it eventually before it finished, but we'll see. Lings go down. Roach is currently out for Plurmorant, and all this Marine aggression from Beastyqt is a front for a Siege Tank push, which may hit in the main. We'll see. Dropping Siege Tank is good now. Now that the Roaches are out, that third base is relatively safe, especially with the inject. Bunker goes down, but those Marines, they have forced out a decent amount of Roaches where Plurmorant would have more likely wanted to get out drones, but now it all comes down to the micro. How good is Beastyqt with this micro? Can he take out the Roaches? Because potentially he could micro and just kill all the Roaches with the Siege Tank. Like, I've seen it happen a few times, and it's painful to watch, and it's painful as a Zerg player. Queens, though, are important. We do see another queen started up in the natural, the third base of Plurmorant. Lair also on the way. The Roach is trying to engage, but man, the Siege Tank just forever can do little bit amount of damage. But thankfully, Roaches and all Zerg units have the passive heal, which is always nice to have. Even if there was Burrow or something, Roaches also get a little bit quicker heal. For now, that's not going to be the situation. Beastyqt, though, is pushing out again. The early Marines did push out a lot of Roaches where maybe they didn't want to do that pressure. It's the situation where the pressure failed, so you forced out a lot of units. So kind of your repost off your original pressure is met with a lot more units, where if you would have waited a little while, maybe he could have hit like a fully saturated drone line in the third base where Plurmorant did not expect the siege tanks to be. Something of the sort. I love the wall. As I was mentioning, you got to be so careful. But funny wall right there. It's just the pure supply depot is like, I'm not committing any bunkers. Like, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Roach speed coming down from Plurmorant. A nice scan, spots everything. And maybe there could be tech hidden somewhere else, but realistically on three bases, you're droning up. It's stretching yourself a little bit too thin. You got to assume it's going to be Roaches out of our Zerg player. Plurmorant. Roach speed on the way. See if he throws down some Evo chambers or plans to make for a timing attack. I think he's just going to push in with a lot of Roaches. Over on the other side of the map, we do see that Viking Lovely will pick up a Overlord kill. Nice, and it does get the third base moving up, but guys, notice there are no Liberators in production, which has been the key here. Like I was mentioning, all that early gas, everything has gone into upgrades for bio in these siege tanks in the two early medevacs. So because of that, right now, there's not that many Liberators, which honestly is why I always see Terran be really scary on this map. Other hand, you do have tank drops just as well, but they don't quite transition as well into the mid to late game once the actual Hydra Force, or once you have just a couple anti-air units as Zerg just start to do damage with medevacs. For now, though, I think Plurmorant has pushed this back. I'd love to see Beastyqt go down to the bottom into the natural base of Plurmorant, maybe try some more damage, but he may be able to pick up a queen. Always nice. Roach speed is now done, and the siege tanks cannot go down onto this creep without being relatively scared of life. Really just not want to do it. Clean up the creep for now, as the third base of Beastyqt is taken. Expand while you're putting on the aggression. In this case, you can put it on with 2 siege tanks. It's fantastic. There's a certain point, though, Plurmorant knows he needs to move out. He can't keep taking damage at home. It's like a PvT where the Protoss keeps getting dropped. There's just a certain point where you're too fed up, and now it's happening. Tunneling Claws and Roach speed is going down. Like I was saying, that passive regen pretty good against fighting these just the micro armies. But for now, there's and pretty much very little of the larva on it. It also pure Marine army for Beastyqt is really scary. 40 Marines are currently out, and maybe that was the situation where Beastyqt assumed that Plurmorant thought he was going to make Liberators, so he'd go Ling just to run by the Liberator. But that's not the situation. He went Roaches, which, albeit Beastyqt saw a lot of Roaches, so I don't know what his idea was with Lings. For now, though, third base of Beastyqt is alive. Could be elaborate mind games. Could just be he's really, really stuck on gas. Finally, he's getting out Liberators. No Marauders, but the back base will be attacked. Now, the army Beastyqt can keep going to defend this, but really, I was saying, Plurmorant just needs to split up, and he's got Tunneling Claws done in a second or two. Burrow is done in a second or two. He can start to split up and go wherever he wants, and if he brings down these rocks, it's going to start tearing Beastyqt apart, but he's getting Liberators at the perfect time. It's where he can shut down his third base, or at least shut down any aggression into his third base without needing units. Beautiful mine drops. So far, guys, 32 drones to 44 SCVs. 26 drones killed, 17 workers, or SCVs at least. So both players have done a lot of damage to each other, but it's still kind of, they're slapping each other in the face. But I feel like overall, Beastyqt's got a nice army, but he just cannot engage directly. He's got to be careful. He's got to play that TvZ style where you fall back onto your siege tanks, you fall back onto your Liberators, you fall back onto your Widow Mines, and that's how you push out. You have spurts of DPS with the bio, then you push out. But beauty of this third base, at least from an offensive standpoint, Plurmorant can hit it hard, and it sucks from the back. This could be a multi-pronged attack. We'll have to see how it goes down. There is a lot of scans available, but there is the tunneling clause. But at the same time, Roach is going to the third base. Like I was saying, it's really easy to shut down any of the bases on Bridgehead with any Liberators. Works out really well. And really, Plurmorant has given Beastyqt the time to get into that position instead of just going for a massive Roach push, something like that. Ravengers are on the way to start getting rid of these Liberators. But I think by now, Beastyqt, he's got up to the composition he wants. 2-2 is on the way. Bio is amazing as in, you don't necessarily ever transition out of Bio. It just has so much DPS, you just keep forcing it as long as you can, and it's just amazing like that. So really, Liberator Bio is exactly what Beastyqt wants to be in this position. Instead of something like Widowmine Bio, which is what you can see in Heart of the Swarm, it's the Liberator Bio. Finally, Ravengers are with Plurmorant's army, and that's where he's going to start being able to push back this army, but man, Liberators get down is going to be good. It's key, though, to be able to hold this third base. The Ravengers could actually hit from the high ground, maybe, into that orbital commandment. They're going ham on it, trying to kill it. But, guys, Liberators two-shot Roaches, so they are very low in health. But, oh, there's actually a little bit of a move command, and a lot of that Bio does allow it to move into a large concave of Plurmorant. 2-2 is about 70 seconds off. Still about a minute, guys. It will come in about 11:45 mark. But Plurmorant has this drop to deal with, and really, he's got just about nothing. The Marines do focus down drones, thankfully. Some Roaches are pulling back to defend it, but Plurmorant is not going up to anything. There's no upgrades on the back of this, nothing like that. He's lost a lot of workers. He's going to kill as much as he possibly can. Liberators are first to defend his attack, and right here, I mean, you go for the mineral line. He's not going to quite do that. That would be a little bit too deep to go, but he's going to try to kill as much as he can, just completely bypassing these Liberators. But the Ravengers get so easily picked off, and GG, Beastyqt, even with a squishy army, takes game 1 of his best of 3.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.